A major controversy erupted after Prime Minister Mark Carney's office released a video of him visiting Canadian soldiers for Thanksgiving. The video, presented as a recent gesture, was quickly exposed as old footage recycled from a previous year. Canadians felt deceived, and the government's attempt to pass off the visit as current has been widely condemned. The backlash was swift, with social media and news outlets filled with anger and disappointment. The Prime Minister's office is now on the defensive, struggling to explain an act many see as deeply disrespectful. The Thanksgiving deception has become a defining moment for Carney's leadership. Faking a military visit isn't a minor slip, it's a breach of trust. Soldiers and their families sacrifice so much, especially during holidays. A real visit from the Prime Minister is a powerful gesture of gratitude. Discovering it was staged with old footage feels like a betrayal. It reduces troops to props in a political ad, undermining sincere leadership. This act of dishonesty casts doubt on all government communications. For military families, it trivializes their sacrifices and damages morale. The message: image matters more than genuine support. Canadians expect leaders to show up for the troops, not just in recycled videos. The backlash proves people care about honesty and respect. This incident cuts deep into the government's credibility. It's about respecting both the military and the intelligence of Canadians. The damage goes far beyond a single news cycle. The Thanksgiving video scandal has shattered Mark Carney's image as a trustworthy leader. Once seen as steady and reliable, he now faces accusations of political deception. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. The scandal casts a shadow over his entire government, fueling public skepticism. Opposition parties are seizing the moment, demanding accountability and keeping the story alive. Carney must now battle both public anger and relentless political attacks. This incident could define his premiership, overshadowing achievements. The image of a faked military visit is powerful and memorable. Repairing the damage will be a monumental task. The perception of disrespect for soldiers may haunt Carney's legacy. Canadians are left questioning the truthfulness of their leaders. The government's ability to govern effectively is now in doubt. This crisis is a turning point for Carney's leadership. His response will shape how history remembers him. While the Thanksgiving scandal rages at home, Carney's government faces criticism abroad, especially over Venezuela. After a controversial U.S. military operation in the Caribbean, Canada remained silent, sparking accusations of tacit support. Under Carney, Canada has aligned more closely with aggressive U.S. policies in the region. As Bank of England chief, Carney helped block Venezuela's access to its gold, worsening its crisis. This stance raises questions about Canada's commitment to international law. The silence on Venezuela adds to Carney's growing list of controversies. Amid controversy, Carney has taken bold action on the world stage, most notably strong support for Ukraine. His government's $2 billion military aid package puts Canada among Ukraine's top backers. Carney frames this as a moral and strategic stand for global security. The move signals Canada's commitment to its allies and to defending sovereignty. This assertive stance contrasts with ambiguity on issues like Venezuela. Supporting Ukraine deepens Canada's involvement in a volatile conflict, with risks and rewards. Carney's foreign policy is selective and strategic, focusing resources where they matter most. These decisions are reshaping Canada's global reputation. Old alliances are being tested, and new dynamics are emerging. Carney's leadership is defined by navigating this complex environment. The consequences of these choices will shape Canada's role for years to come. One of Carney's most dramatic moves was declaring the end of Canada's close ties with the United States. This came after President Trump threatened devastating auto tariffs. Carney's bold response marked a historic break from decades of deep economic and cultural partnership. Canada is now forging a more independent path, even at the cost of friction with its biggest ally. The decision was driven by economic necessity and a need to protect Canadian jobs. The relationship has shifted from friendly cooperation to managed conflict. Canada must now defend its interests against an increasingly protectionist U.S. This new reality has reshaped North American politics and created uncertainty. Carney's willingness to break tradition is a key part of his legacy. Canada is seeking new partnerships and asserting its independence on the world stage. The long-term impact of this shift is still unfolding. The country faces a future where it can't automatically rely on its southern neighbor. Mark Carney's premiership is defined by controversy and bold action. The Thanksgiving video scandal has created a crisis of trust and stained his reputation. At the same time, Carney has taken decisive, sometimes polarizing stances on the world stage. His break with the U.S. and strong support for Ukraine show a leader unafraid of tough choices. Yet his government's silence on Venezuela and domestic missteps complicate his legacy. Canadians must weigh his questionable ethics against his assertive foreign policy. Carney leads a country at a crossroads, facing questions about identity, alliances, and trust. The Thanksgiving controversy will linger, shaping public perception. How Carney handles these crises will determine if he's remembered for bold leadership or a fundamental breach of trust. The story of his premiership is still being written,